My name is Dr. Chieke Ihejirika, political science, associate professor of political science in the Department of History, Political Science, Philosophy, and Religion. My faculty development project this summer was exploring an obscure area of scholarship. And what I mean by obscure is like what Robert Frost said about the road not taken. And I'm talking about African political philosophy, which is the less traveled road in scholarship. What I consider my main asset, or what asset I bring to the Lincoln University, is my very unique background. I am an African-born American who has been trained in both African and European Latin scholasticism, as well as American pragmatic scholarship. So I consider the fact that there are those areas that are not very commonly taught in Western scholarship as important aspects of scholarship and necessary for the development of well-rounded students. I believe that in their usual, previous experience, they may have heard or seen so many common things or conventional literature on Western scholarship. But I do know for sure that African scholarship is something they have not been so privileged. So I bring that into play in the discipline. And particularly, I wanted to articulate the different ways of looking at power relationship in the traditional African society, as opposed to the Western concept that dominate our curriculum and practices. Well, as I imagined, coming from that background, which is an asset, that I suspected, and I found it confirmed from my research, that unlike Western power structure, in Africa, age is a very important element of power, more than wealth and title and all those, even family. Because in Africa, the old people are considered the custodians of experience, and they occupy a very important position in society. Traditionally, and prior to this research, and the convention is that our students are learning the different kinds of power structure, Aristotelian types of government, monarchy, oligarchy, tyranny, aristocracy, and polity, of course, democracy also. These are all from the Western point of view as, the location of authority and power in society. But what this has done is to bring another perspective, different from the conventional Aristotelian structure, that in societies such as non-hierarchical societies, and they have them, there are various societies in Africa anyway, but the political aspects of Igbo culture, for example, is that they are not aristocratic, they are not hierarchical. It is a segmental structure in which there is no king. So in a system where there is no king, age becomes the distinguishing quality for who gets to make the final judgment within the family. And of course, the political structure is an extension of the family, even according to Aristotle. The family is the foundation of society, and from there, they take all the, they take their information about how society should be organized. My research has already yielded a publishable article, which has been accepted for publication. And I have already shared it with the students already, and they are so excited that there are other forms of authority structure other than the Western view. And I also intend to, deliver this as a department-wise lecture so that my colleagues can learn and help in articulating an improvement of the research in area that will benefit me and them in a mutual way. And also the fact that there's a culture of this scholarship that we do this through the Department Brown Bag lecture. So I intend to do that. Overall, the perspective that I intend to bring with this research and its unorthodoxy is because it opens up a visitor to other areas of learning in our goal of developing a well-rounded scholars, among our students, because these other experiences can only result in the creation of cosmopolitan individuals who will be less ethnocentric and, parochial in their feelings. And we do know, as a political scientist, we do know what ethnocentrism can bring to society. It's a narrow-minded people who can orchestrate genocides and all forms of evil, of man's inhumanity to man, terrorism, and all the different kinds of ills people perpetrate because of their narrow way of looking at reality. This research was also part of, I chose it because of the way I look at Lincoln University. I look at Lincoln University as a unique center of excellence in multinational studies, because this university has such a rich global heritage that it could easily become a center for multinational and diverse studies. Where else can we learn about black culture, for example, than in the oldest black historical university in the world, actually? A lot of people don't know. They say in America, but they don't understand that in Africa, in the modern time, we're not talking about Timbuktu. We're talking about modern times. In the modern times, Lincoln University is the earliest degree-granting institution in the world that is meant for black people. Because in Nigeria, for example, the earliest university there is in 1948. So, and that's why personalities like Nnamdi Azikiwe and all that had to come here prior to 1948, because there was no university in the country. So this is for me, this is a unique place to unearth all kinds of creative learning and scholarship about the rejuvenation or recapturing of the black civilization, so that we can extend that to the new generation of leaders. And as a political scientist, I intend, it has been my mission to compare cultures, political cultures. And it has yielded 2 books in the past. And I intend also to pursue that further. So this is a study in comparative political philosophy, so where I am willing and ready to juxtapose this Africanism, this way of looking at authority and power structure in non-Western, as opposed to the Western Aristotelian view. And I think it's very rich. There's so much to be explored there. The more I read and the more I think, because some of them come instinctively because it's part of the culture that I originated from. And also the more I develop new strategies and paradigms, the more things make sense to me, the more I can easily bring them into explicability and association with what is operating elsewhere. But the fundamental thing is that there is one universal truth that everybody, is a student of. And these are all variations of it. But we need to know those variations. As Chieke said in one of his talks, Chinua Achebe, the distinguished African writer, Achebe said that he was describing African literature, but now we want to describe African philosophy in the global context. So the whole world is a tree, he said, and the various cultures are branches of it. In order to understand the tree, you have to understand the other branches. So that's the view that's what is driving my scholarship in this area, just to see if we can bring a more comprehensive approach to education.